I'm covering for Barb. Did you get a chance to look at your pre-sentence investigation report?
Yeah.
Was everything good on it?
Yeah, only it was inaccurate was say I went to two specials of college by over 2 years.
Okay. Won't materially change
I know,
anything.
that's the only thing I noticed that was wrong.
Well, maybe we can bring up to the judge if you want to.
No, I'm just, you asked me what was wrong. That's like different.
Yeah, won't really change. Everything on yours is pretty laid out. So
Yesterday?
yeah.
No, you
Can I catch up on some stuff?
I think you have you have 4 months of well, let me clarify.
I've been here almost 4 months.
We have this print.
As I tell you,
Yeah, so 4 months Department of Corrections. How long have you been in custody for?
almost 4 months.
You'll probably get credit for however long you've been in for. So you may just have a few weeks left if that's the case.
I was gonna bring up my my RV got impounded, right? Here's the thing: my parents and my two brothers' ashes are in the RV. It's in
So June 17th, you went into custody. So that would be October 17th. You still have about 45 more days to go. So they'll send you to DOC for about 43, 44 days or something like that, roughly.
No, I went probation. Yeah.
Well, you're getting probation too, but 4 months is the mandatory minimum for aggravated DUI. So you cannot serve less than 4 months in custody, no matter what.
No, I thought maybe I was in probation.
You are getting probation as well.
Okay.
But you'll have probation after you get out. So that's standard for aggravated DUI. There's nothing, not even the judge can give you less than 4 months.
All right.
So, yeah, you'll have about 45 days or so left to do. I don't know if they'll transport you to prison or not. I'm assuming they will for those last 45 days. What were you saying though?
I lost my parent, my mom, my brother, my dad, my two brothers on a car accident last year. In my Luna RV, and my RV got impounded. Okay. And my parents' ashes are in that RV, and I won't be able to live with myself again to get them out. I mean,
well, as far as
that's
likely being held as evidence, but that's not going. Please.
All right. Thank you. Please be seated. This is CR 2024-847, Dave, Arizona versus Paul Allen Sidney. Is that you?
Yes.
Show for the record the presence of the defendant, Mr. Dyer representing the defendant, Ms. Clarout representing the state. The time set for judgment and sentencing. And are we ready to proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have received a pre-sentence report. Mr. Sidney, have you reviewed that report?
Pardon?
I have received a pre-sentence report. Have you reviewed that report?
Yes, I have.
Are there any corrections to that report that either you or your attorney want to bring to my attention?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything you would like to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Dyer?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sidney has no prior felony convictions. Collision did not result in any injury. Terms of the plea are well stipulated, so we'll leave the rest at the discretion of the court.
Mr. Sidney, is there anything you want to say on your own behalf?
Your Honor, I've been through quite a bit. This whole incident, I went through this trial in Havasu with this and got thrown out twice. I got arrested here for a trespassing charge, which I got released, and then I'm getting charged again. I lost my car, my RV, my parents just died this year, and their ashes were in that RV, and I need to get them out, but Lots of family dogs. My license from right now. I don't know how much more I can be punished. I'd like to get out and go on my life.
I have your date of birth is June 30th, 1964. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I suffered a heart attack month before came in here. I was supposed to go to Phoenix for a cardiologist specialist, but I can't get. I mean, I've been here, so. I was kind of hoping to maybe get released today.
That's not going to happen.
I don't think so.
Ms. Clara, anything on behalf of the state?
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Is there any legal cause why I should not proceed with sentencing?
No.
No, Your Honor.
No legal cause appearing based on the defendant's guilty plea, which the court accepts if it hasn't already done so. It's the judgment of the court the defendant is guilty of count 1, aggravated driving while under the influence of drugs. It's a non-dangerous, non-repetitive, class 4 felony. It's in violation of ARS sections 28-1383A1, 28-1381A3, 13-701, 13-702, 13-801. It's a crime that was committed on or about November 17th, 2023. I have considered the pre-sentence report, the statements that were made to me today, the amount of time the defendant has spent in custody. In looking at this case, this is a defendant that doesn't have any prior felony convictions. He does have fairly extensive misdemeanor convictions involving various crimes, including the prior DUI as a misdemeanor from 15 years ago or so, prior drug charges, flight charges, fight, not flight, hit and run, driving while his license is suspended, disorderly conduct. But he doesn't have any prior record, again, other than a driving on a suspended license for the last 10 years or so, or maybe a dozen years. So the court has considered all that. I do find that the plea agreement is appropriate. Ordered suspending the imposition of sentence and under the supervision of the adult probation department, placing the defendant on probation for a period of 5 years. That'll begin upon the defendant's release from prison for the felony DUI. It's ordered that the defendant shall serve 4 months in prison. The beginning date of that sentence will be today. The defendant shall receive no credit for any pre-sentence incarceration. Ordered that the defendant shall serve 55 days in jail with credit for the 55 days that he's already served. I think the PSI indicates 0 jail time, but I know it's from July 11th through today is 55 days credit. There are 9 uniform conditions of probation. I'm not going to go over those at this time. You will receive them in writing. You will need to go over them with your probation officer. There are additional special conditions of probation. Number 14, you will not consume or possess any alcoholic beverage. I know this is a DUI case involving methamphetamine, but I don't want you substituting one drug of abuse for another. And also, while you're making the best decisions possible, people under the influence of drugs or alcohol don't always make good decisions. So while you're on probation, you can't possess or consume any alcohol. It's ordered that, there are special conditions of probation. Number 1, you'll comply with the following: Project Safe sanctions. up to 200 hours community restitution, up to 90 days in jail. Those are sanctions that could be imposed if you violate your probation. If you don't violate your probation, you don't have to worry about those particular sanctions. Number 6, you will not knowingly reside in any location where a firearm is present. Number 7, you will not possess any alcoholic beverage or enter into a place where alcoholic beverages are sold, except for eating, working, or grocery shopping. It's ordered as number 8, you will attend a MAD impact panel within 6 months of release from prison. Number 11, you will not be under the influence of marijuana, imposing that for the same reason as the no alcohol provision. There are financial sanctions. There is a fine of $750 plus surcharges, which total $633.75, a $20 probation assessment pursuant to 12-114.01, a $13 assessment pursuant to 12-116.04. The investigating agency is the Lake Havasu City Police Department. There's a $2 assessment pursuant to 12-116.09, a $9 assessment pursuant to 12-116.08. There is a $1,500 prison construction fund fee, a second $1,500 public safety equipment fund fee, a $250 DUI abatement fund fee, a $4 assessment pursuant to 12-116.10. There is, and I'm assuming you cannot pay all that today. Is that correct, Mr. Sidney?
Yeah.
There's a $20 time payment fee. There are probation fees in the amount of $75 per month. There is attorney's fees. I'm going to reduce that down to $100 a month because I think the defendant has a substantial amount to pay and has a limited ability to pay it all. It's ordered that there's a $25 indigent administrative assessment fund fee. The total fees are going to total $165 per month. They will begin 30 days after the defendant's release from custody. Mr. Sidney, do you have any questions regarding the terms and conditions of your probation?
So I got no, for the time I've been incarcerated, I get no credit for time served.
I gave you credit for 54 days that you've already, 54? 55. I gave you credit for 55.
Why is that from 40 for 4 months?
Not against the 4 months, no. But I didn't make you serve any additional jail time.
So what's it going credit for towards?
So under the plea agreement, Mr. Sidney, I could have made you do 4 months in prison plus an additional 8 months in the county jail.
Okay.
Instead of doing the 8 months, I gave you 55 days, but I gave you credit for the 55 days. So that's what it goes to.
Now I understand.
And I'm sure you don't want to hear this, but if you ever violate your probation, then that will be credited towards any future sentence you get. So if you ever violate your sentence, and for instance, if you're sentenced to prison, you'll get credit for the 4 months that you already did, plus the 2 months. So you would get 6 months credit at this point in time. Hopefully you won't violate your probation. You don't even need to worry about that. But it would count at that point in time.
So as of right now, I'm going to prison for 4 months.
As of right now, you're going to prison for 4 months. All right, Mr. Sidney, I'm going to need you to sign the terms and conditions of probation, the notice of rights after sentencing, and notice of civil rights.
What?
I did.
What's the date? 93.
Date first.
Yes, some of those give credits. This is discussed on here. It says, John, I could talk to you about this exact issue about credit for time served. Some judges do, some judges don't. It's not standard on DUIs. My apologies for that. I guess John talked to you about this before as well.
And no, John never talked to me at all. I ain't talked to John at all. I'm in jail with the people on that.
It's discretionary, but any judge can do up to 1 year of incarceration for any sort of plea with probation. That's like the judge can do a year. And again, a year, this offered up to 2.5 years because of the sentence for this type of offense. So you're still getting 4 months instead of 2.5 years either way.
All
So,
right.
I know it sucks, but that's unfortunate. Mandatory minimums are.
Record should reflect that the court has retrieved the defendant's 2 fingerprint biometric identification, which is on file at the court. The fingerprint's been affixed to the sentencing order, which the court has signed today's date. The defendant has signed and received copies of the notice of rights after sentencing, the notice of civil rights, and the terms and conditions of probation. Has also received a copy of the MVD abstract that will be sent to the Department of Motor Vehicles. Mr. Sidney, the document that you signed and received entitled Notice of Rights After Sentencing explains your post-conviction rights. You have the right to file a petition for post-conviction relief. If you cannot afford an attorney on such a petition, one would be appointed to represent you free of charge. If you cannot afford transcripts, those would also be provided to you free of charge. If you want to file a petition for post-conviction relief, you have to file a separate notice of that within 90 days of today's date, or else you could forever lose that right. The document you received explains your post-conviction rights. It's not the form you would need to file. If you want to file a petition, you have to file a separate notice to this court within 90 days. The document also explains that you have the right to file a petition to have your conviction set aside once you successfully complete probation. Finally, you may be able to file an application to have your case record sealed at some point in time in the future. The second document explains that because this is your first felony conviction, your civil rights, including your right to vote, hold public office, serve on a jury, and to possess a firearm, will be restored to you automatically once you successfully complete probation. Assuming you've paid all victim restitution, and since there isn't any that's been requested, that seems very likely. I guess speaking of restitution, it is ordered reserving restitution for a period of 90 days pursuant to the plea agreement. It's ordered dismissing any charges or allegations pursuant to the plea agreement. It's ordered exonerating any bond. It's ordered remanding the defendant to the custody of the sheriff to carry out the sentence just ordered. The sheriff is authorized to transport the defendant to the Department of Corrections to begin serving his sentence. The clerk is directed to send to the Department of Corrections a copy of the sentencing order and any reports prepared in connection with this case. Anything else in connection with this case at this point in time, Mr. Dyer?
I got, before this happened, I got a trespassing charge in Havasu, and I was supposed to go start my payment plan, so I can't make it there, so what, turned to a warrant. And then I just got, and then while I wasn't here, they slapped on a possession and preferential charge on me, which I'm supposed to go to court on the 12th. So now, if I'm gonna be incarcerated, will I go to warrant? Now, if it will affect my release from prison.
Likely
So if I'm
will,
incarcerated, I can't make it to the, can't make it before date.
it likely will, but
Well, can we fix that now? So I won't happen. I get to go 4 months and think I'm getting released. All of a sudden, oh, you got to do the 30 days because I wasn't.
even if that's the case, they'll have you on account and they'll have a plea and it'll be done either way, but you still owe 30 days for the possession charge either way. So even if you
I
got
haven't
transported
gone
back,
to court yet, so I don't know yet.
that's what's gonna happen though. So your defense will just ask them to withdraw in this case, and then we'll handle the other issue with the other cases.
All right. Mr. Sidney, you're going to be on probation as soon as you get out of prison. If you violate your probation could be revoked. You could then go to prison for up to 3 3/4 years. You understand that?
Yeah.
Anything else, Ms. Claro?
No, Your Honor.
It is ordered allowing counsel for the defendant to withdraw. If I didn't say that already, we'll stand in recess on this case.
I have your case here for House. You already entered the plea on the trespassing charge.
Yeah, it's already, I just
So
got
it's
it
done.
right.
So I can let the court know that you're in custody for 4 months. That's not a problem. That shouldn't be an issue.
I need to fix that.
I just don't want to go, I just want to do 4 months. And
You
go.
said you had the possession of drugs charge was dismissed, but they can refile that.
That's what they did. I mean, I got the paper right here.
They already refiled
It's right here.
it. We haven't been assigned it yet, so there's nothing I can do. Nothing, we're not your counsel in that case.
Okay.
So I'll let the court know though.
I just don't want to get 4 months and go to the least and they say, I'm going to say, oh, you got the charges on you.
I'll at least cover the part of your fines and all that for Havasu. I'll send an email to my assistant right now to let the court know that you're gonna be in custody.
Yeah, that way they can't go warrant.
So at least I'll got you that for the drug charge though. Without being appointed counsel, there's nothing I can do.
Covered that one too.
So you're unfortunate on that one.
Oh, that's okay.
I don't know.
That's-
Either way though, like on a possession drug charge like that, especially if you get a prior one, they're probably gonna want 45 days on that at least.
I mean, on the court, I mean,
So-
this.
Just so you know, that's how those normally go. So even if you get out of jail, they transport you back here to jail. When you get out of prison, they transport you back here to jail. It won't affect the probation on this case because it was prior to this. And however long you'll be in there, you'll probably be time served.
So when I leave prison,
4 months from now, so it'll be January 3rd.
I leave tonight.
Oh, I don't know when they'll transport you, whenever I don't know what the jail does, what their schedule is.
Are you concerned about another court?
No, I was asking when I'm leaving to go to prison. Will I be tonight or tomorrow?
No, probably next week.
Okay.
If you have other stuff, like unfinished cases, just write a legal type to them. Keep in touch with them.
That's it.
Get those in file.
What?
You can ask your floor officer for a legal type.
I'll likely get your case when you get back to have a suit for the drugs, but I can't do anything while it's not.
Since I don't, like I said, I don't want to go to prison and get out. I think I'm getting released and all of a sudden, oh, look, you got this.
Again, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do until you get appointed an attorney, and I'm not appointing an attorney. I can't file anything if I'm not your
Right,
attorney.
but I can't get 0.3, I'll be in prison.
Yeah, I always covered your fine stuff on your last case, though. All right, good luck.
Excuse me.
Okay.